Tia Woolley. I'm the Managing Director for Stage Left Theater, and I would like to welcome Molly Allen, our new resident playwright for Stage Left Theater. Give us an overview of your history in acting, directing, and more importantly, as a playwright. What have you got?
Well, I stayed away from acting as much as I could until I was about 24 because I grew up in it and I just thought it was the silliest profession I'd ever heard of in my life. It didn't make sense to me that people would stay home and wait for permission to work, so I was a waitress and I did all kinds of things. But I moved to Orlando and I saw an ad for the Brady Bunch play. Somebody was doing a spoof of a Brady Bunch play, and I was so excited because I had some time and I went and auditioned, and they said, well, you were great, but we can't afford a blonde wig. So would you want to co-direct because you're so enthusiastic? And I said, sure. And because I wanted to play Marcia. And a couple weeks into rehearsal, the girl who played Marcia could only do some of the shows. So I got to do like the Thursday and the Sunday. And I loved it. I had such a good time. And so that was a place called Manhattan South. And it was a small 50-seat theater. And I fell in love with it. We did all spoof shows. And I did Sexual Perversity in Chicago. And I was there about a year. And once I started doing theater, I loved it. Because in high school, I was always passerby number 4. I didn't even get in the chorus of Grease. Like, I never got a part in high school ever. So that was cool. And then I started writing because my friends needed monologues. And they hated all the monologues. So I would get a slice of their life and I'd write a monologue for them. And it was just kind of therapeutic. And then I wrote a spoof play for a Brady Bunch thing. And then my first real play that I wrote, were you acting? You were asking about acting, though. And then playwrights, right?
Yeah.
You too? Okay.
Acting, directing, and playwright.
Okay, I've never directed and I never will. I don't fancy myself. I have no desire. I'm not good at it. I don't have any ideas. I don't think I'll ever direct anything. But the play that I wrote was called The Day Spring Wouldn't Come Out, and I was teaching preschool at the time, and the kids they didn't know months, seasons, any of that. So I made all of the months and the seasons characters, and so they could learn. And so we did it here locally. Troy Nickerson directed it. It was multimedia. My parents were both in it. It was really fun. So we did it for the kids. We did it out at the high school, and we did it at the Met. And so that was my first thing, and that was 2003. And then I took a huge break from writing. But acting-wise, I did a lot of Coeur d'Alene Summer Theater. That's how I ended up in Spokane, both interplayers, usually musical stuff. But then recently, Sonia Vanya, Masha and Spike, and that was the biggest role I had done in a long time, besides my own On Shaky Ground, which I wrote and acted in. So it's just kind of all over the place.
Question, what do you hope to bring to Stage Left as playwright in residence?
Well, I hope that we can bring lots of different playwrights in and have it be a place where playwrights can get together and support each other and see what we can come up with, and also have a place to have my shows be produced, because that's a huge gift, to have an actual building, where you can put up a show that you've written. So I hope to bring laughs and tears, and I hope people enjoy what I bring, and the actors will have fun and come and read my shows and be in them.
What are your favorite things about being a playwright?
My favorite things, it's the escape. I think that I really started a couple of years ago because I had a lot going on in my life, and it was my escape to just get in there and just tell a story. And some of it has to do with my life, some of it has nothing to do with my life. And it just the escape and just getting to tell a story, and then creating really good things for actors to say, because I've been in a lot of plays and I've said a lot of words that didn't make sense from really famous playwrights and then some good playwrights and some bad playwrights, and just I always want the actors to feel like what they're saying is something a human being would actually say in that moment. So that's my favorite part, crafting dialogue. I like that. So it sounds like a conversation.
So when was your first play produced here in Spokane, and what was it?
Well, the very first one was The Day Spring Wouldn't Come Out, and that was the Spokane Theatrical Group, and we did it at the high school in the Valley, not University High School, but the other one, I can't think of it right now. Central Valley, and for the kids, and then we did it at the Met, and we brought all the schools in. We bussed them in, so it was really cool. But then Ignite Theater did my On Shaky Ground, which was last fall. And so that was really exciting, and I was in it too, so it was a lot of pressure, but it was very exciting.
So growing up in an acting family, how did that benefit you in adulthood with your radio show and as being a playwright in general?
Probably just having a lot of material to pull from. My family is hilarious, and I was just on the phone with my Uncle John last night, as a matter of fact, and we were laughing so hard about something that had just happened to me in Los Angeles, and then how I told him the story, and I said, I love when little things come into your life like that, and he said, but it's what you do with them that's so funny. So with all my plays and stuff, I think I'm able to pull from all the different things, and I had such a fun life growing up. I got to see the world, and I got to be around really funny people who were good, talented actors too. I mean, what a group of talent, So I think, and then just being exposed to show business and the possibility, knowing, and then having a mom that would produce my show. I mean, that's huge. And knowing how to, that's a huge benefit for me.
So this season at Stage Left, we've added 2 separate events.
Yeah.
For the 17-18 season to showcase playwrights. Can we talk about those? Can you just kind of talk about those?
Sure. So one of them will be a combination of Reader's Theater and fully produced shows that I've written, kind of a showcase. I want to pull a couple of different things that are a little more drama and then funny. I was just in a playwrights competition with a show called The Hostage, and that was all just full on funny. There were a couple of moments of heartfelt whatever, but that was designed to be that. But I have other stuff that's a little more thought-provoking and a little deeper, and so I want to just show a little bit of what I can offer. And then the other one that we're working on is to involve 3 to 4 local playwrights and have it be them being a little more long form. So an hour and then maybe a couple of half an hour, so that they can, try to get a little bit more than just this 10-minute limit or something. And if it's 48 minutes, maybe that's fine. Because sometimes a story is told in an odd amount of time. It's not going to be an hour or half an hour. Sometimes it's 47 and a half minutes. Do you know what I mean? That's when they put time limits on it. You can say a 1 act, and 1 act could be 120. It could be, so I think that's cool to explore, that maybe we get some more long form.
So Spokane is blessed with a diverse actor pool locally. Is there anybody specific that you really admire, and why?
I know. You've got a lot of actor friends, so that's kind of
well, I was just in a play with Mary Starkey and Thomas Hepler, and
Yeah.
What are you going to do? And then, Heather McHenry Crutch is a fantastic director. Troy Nickerson is, he's a god, really. Don't we just consider him a god here?
Yeah,
but
we do.
but Todd Keeney is a fabulous actor. Billy Hultquist is a fabulous actor. I've written a lot for him. And, you meet somebody that you become friends with, and then they inspire you. And it's like, oh, he could do that part. He could do that part. Mark Pleasant is a fabulous actor. Patrick McHenry Crutch. Tammy Connell. I mean, it goes on and on. We have so many great actors here. It's hard to even say. These are just kind of my friends that I am around. My gosh, you have such a pool of people.
It is.
It's hard to choose, and it's hard to say because everybody's good at different things. I mean, when I saw Trip to Bountiful, I said this: if this were like a Tony, if they were like, well, this is up for the Tonys, I'd be like, all right, it's that good, it's that well directed, it's that well acted, it's that well everything that and nobody would know that in Little Spokane. And I really believe if you just put it up and you got some audience and you just, it was like a blind tasting of wine, if you just said, here's this and here's that, and we're not telling you which one's in New York and which one is in Spokane, I don't think people would be able to know the difference sometimes. I really, truly don't. We have that many talented people here. We really do.
If you were to describe yourself as a crayon, what color would you be and why?
Periwinkle. Periwinkle was always my favorite crayon, and I don't know if you know this, but I'm an aviation nerd, and I love my favorite things to be in the sky. And when I'm flying, I'm happy. Even the middle seat, the back of a plane, I'm happy. And so periwinkle always represents to me just the sky and the different colors of the sky. And it may not even be accurate, but to me as a kid, that always, periwinkle was just, it's a blue. It's just a blue.
Thank you, everyone, for watching the Stage Left channel. If you're into theater in Spokane, you're into Stage Left. Invite them to Stage Left and come to a show. Season tickets are still available. Don't miss out. SpokaneStageLeft.org.